Lock my funds because of your mistake. Fine. Enjoy your social media meltdown. Imagine waking up one morning and realizing every cent of your money is locked. No warning. No explanation. No crime committed. Just a bank saying, "Yeah, we'll get back to you." Now imagine that same bank spending the rest of the week drowning in hundreds of angry social media complaints from people who don't even exist. All for the price of $3. This is the story of how a tiny credit union learned a very expensive lesson about customer service, and how the internet became my legal, anonymous weapon of choice. Let me start with a confession. I made a mistake. I trusted a small, local credit union with my money. You know the type. Friendly posters on the wall, smiling staff, lots of talk about community values, and personalized service. I figured, what could go wrong? After all, they were insured, legitimate, and had been around for years. So I moved part of my savings there. Nothing wild. Just enough that I'd notice if something went wrong. And everything was fine, until one random day, my ATM card stopped working. No warning. No declined notification. Just nothing. So I walked into the branch to ask what was going on. The clerk checked my account, nodded, and said something like, "Oh yeah, sometimes the system does that." Comforting. She then handed me a withdrawal code, explaining that their bank had a feature where you could still pull cash directly from your account even if your card wasn't working. This wasn't special treatment. It wasn't a loophole. It was literally one of their advertised services. I used the code. Cash came out. Problem solved. Or so I thought. A few days later, I log into my account. Frozen. Every transaction blocked. No transfers. No withdrawals. No access to my own money. I call customer support. After being passed around like a bad habit, someone finally tells me my account was flagged for review. Why? Because their system deducted my balance late after that withdrawal code was used. Let me be very clear here. I didn't overdraft. I didn't exploit anything. I didn't break any rules. This was their accounting error. I explained this calmly. The response? Cold. Dismissive. Almost annoyed. I was told it would be resolved soon. Soon turned into weeks. Every time I called, the tone got worse. Snarky comments. Short answers. And once or twice, subtle remarks about my foreign-sounding last name. Nothing blatant enough to report. Just enough to make it very clear I wasn't considered a priority. For over a month, my money sat there, untouched. Bills didn't care. Life didn't pause. But the bank, completely indifferent. That's when frustration turned into something else. Not anger. Resolve. Eventually, I did what most people do when they feel powerless. I vented to my family back home. I explained everything, the frozen funds, the disrespect, the endless delays. That's when my younger cousin said something that completely changed the situation. He said, "Why don't you just ruin their social media?" I laughed at first. Then he explained, "There are services, sketchy, international, operating in the gray areas of the internet, that pay people small amounts of money to post whatever you want on social media. We're talking Russian rubles. For context, 1 ruble is roughly 1 US cent. These people weren't influencers. They weren't bots in the traditional sense. They were real accounts, posting scripted complaints for pocket change. The site even let you choose American-looking profiles, different age groups, different writing styles, all customizable. And the cost? $3. That's it. At that moment, I realized something important. The bank had already escalated things. Just in the wrong direction. I didn't threaten anyone. I didn't lie. I didn't make up crimes or accusations. I simply wrote truthful complaints, dozens of them, using AI prompts to vary tone and wording. Things like, "My funds have been frozen for weeks with no explanation. Customer support is dismissive and rude. Is anyone else having issues with this credit union? Nothing illegal. Nothing defamatory. Just volume." Within hours, their Facebook, Twitter, and Google reviews were flooded. Hundreds of posts. Different names. Different writing styles. Same underlying message. To an outside observer, it looked like the bank was collapsing under a wave of customer dissatisfaction. And the best part, there was no way to trace it back to me. No threats. No coordination. Just public opinion doing what it does best. Then I waited. The very same day. Not the next week. Not soon. That day, my phone rang. It wasn't customer support this time. It was the call center manager. Suddenly, the tone had changed. He spoke carefully,